It's setting up. Okay, guys. All right, so let's start with our Upper D final presentations. There are 12 students that will be presenting tonight, and this is a requirement to finish the mandatory levels. I'm listening to myself. The mandatory levels of the intensive program of English. So let's start with Camilo.
Okay, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our upper D presentations. Okay, give me a moment. Can you see my screen right now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay. First, I guess I have to present it to introduce myself. So, good night, everyone. My name is Juan Camilo Castillo Orozco. I'm a student of philosophy first semester in the Caldas University, and I wanna show you something about what philosophy is. First of all, I have to clear that it's not what it seems. Maybe you don't understand what I'm talking about, but all the people think that the philosopher is that guy who doesn't care about his presentation and all those things. But it's not. It doesn't have to be like this. Do you know what I mean? Some people think that the philosopher is a kind of homeless, but it's not in this way. We have to be open-minded in this moment and try to understand that the way who I wear and all those things doesn't mean that I am a homeless or something like this. In this moment, my studies doesn't define me by the moment. So I guess I have to start with a pretty good question, yeah. In this moment, I had the opportunity to know a lot of things, but I want to share with you some point of view. Do you know what I mean? For example, one of the most important questions that are made in the story of history of the philosophy is, what is the meaning of life? It's a pretty good question because what is my purpose here? I don't really know. I only born and that's it. I have to understand why I'm here. That is a pretty good question, and I want to share something about you. For example, um, hmm, Camus. Camus was a French philosopher, yeah? Um, he had developed a theory that is called the absurdist. Maybe you don't understand what is absurdist, but he said that the life doesn't have sense. In this moment, you don't have to do anything because after this life you will die. I mean, when you die, you disappear, and that's it. You don't have to go to the church or something like this to make a better future. At this moment, the life doesn't have sense. For example, he says that okay, then for this situation we have three different options. The first one was the suicide. If you don't feel comfortable with that meaning of the life, you have to suicide. The second one was to go to the church and be a religious person. In that case, you can maybe have hope to to afford this life. Do you know what I mean? And the third one was the um, acceptation. You have to accept that you will die and nothing will even happen if you are here or not. So, in this case, he said that the most important thing in this life, if you ask, is just the the way of accept what is your destiny, is that you have to enjoy the moment. You have to be happy because after that you will not have anything else to do. So, I mean, after this, nothing is going to happen. So you have to live this moment, no worries, no sadness, just happiness. So if we don't have any sense in this life, why are we here? That is a pretty good question. I mean, if it doesn't have sense, why I'm losing my time? For example, Epicuro, he was a great philosopher, and he made a theory that said, the purpose of our life, in this case, is the search of a happiness through the intelligent search of pleasure. I mean, you have to do everything that could give you pleasure. For example, go to Paris, drink a lot, do all of those things that make you feel better, make you feel comfortable. And in this moment, you have to enjoy because after this, you will not have more time. The time doesn't recover, you know what I mean? For example, okay, for continue, it's a pretty good question to understand if is anything else after the death. I mean, you have in this moment I had told you that the life doesn't have sense. If you agree or not is your decision. But a pretty good question if I die will happen something else or just darkness. In this case, Platon have a pretty good theory. For example, he said that after death we will have the opportunity to go to the world of the ideas. In this case, Platon said that our body, our body is a kind of jail of our soul. And when we die, our soul can be free. So our soul is going to go to a new world in which no pain is going to be happen again, no injustice, only calm and happiness in this case. And for finish that kind of um, explanation, I want to let you know a new way to have this opportunity in our life. That is carpe diem. Carpe diem is a sentence that is in Latin that means enjoy everything that you can. If it's possible, only do it. You have to take the opportunity because we don't have the opportunity to do it again. In the life, you have only one opportunity to do something, and maybe if you lose that train, you will not have you will not have to think if will happen again. So in this case, only enjoy this moment. This moment is incredible because we only have this moment. The future doesn't exist. The past is not important in this moment. You have the present, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Juan Camilo. It was excellent. Okay, guys, so next, yes, applause. So next we have Luisa. So Luisa is a student that I had in elementary A and elementary B. So it makes me really proud to see her finishing her course, all this process. And well, Luisa, you can start. Luisa? Okay, maybe she has some connectivity issues. So let's continue with Natalia, and then we can come back to Luisa. All right?
With me?
Yes, Natalia.
Okay, so I'm going to present.
All right.
Okay, you're seeing my screen. Okay, so my name is Natalia Betancourt Valencia, and today I'm going to present a psychological therapy that I really like. So if you don't know, I study psychology, so that's the reason why I choose this topic. The name of the therapy is logotherapy and existential analysis. It was created by Victor Emil Frank. He was an Austrian neuropsychologist and psychiatric. And for being a Jewish, he was taken to the concentration camps in the Second World War. We all know that this event was very horrible for the people who really live it. And also it's very important for the history of the humanity. But Victor was one of the few who managed to survive to this terrifying event. How? He said like he had like a motivation that impulse him to keep going and to be persistent in everything. So that's the way he managed to survive to this event. Um, Victor, when he was finally free, he started fighting for the human dignity, and that's the reason why he created his own therapy. The therapy is very interesting because it says or it focuses on people discovering their own life meaning. My presentation is very related with Camilo's, and it says that people discover their own life meaning, like I said, that's something that drives them to keep going, to be persistent, to be motivated in their life, because we all know that there are a lot of people who have been dealing with a lot of tough situations, like a terminal disease or unemployment, or maybe a death of a relative or a friend. And that's some situation that really happen. And it says that people who have been dealing with a lot of situations, it's possible to feel happiness, to feel free, to feel relief. The answer is that that kind of people just like find or found their sense of life. And something we all know that for the human being is impossible to control everything that is surround him. But according to logotherapy, it says that people that we can do is change the way like we react to this kind of situation, because Victor says that of course these tough situations are terrible for our emotion, are terrible for our lives, but we can like never give up, even though there are a lot of things that will happen in our lives. And something in addition to what I say, something that I think is very special about this therapy is that invite us to connect with our own self, like with our inner self, with our emotions, with our feelings. And also it says that it's going to sound super crazy, but it says that it's possible to talk with our bodies, because our bodies can speak with us. And this therapy just teach us how to understand what our body are telling us. And for wrap everything up, I'm going to share like my experience in a session of this therapy. So first of all, I need you to have like an open mind, because I know it's going to sound super weird what I'm going to say, but I super swear that is real. So my experience was a few months ago in class with my teacher, and he said like we needed to close our eyes and just keep our mind blank. So I did it at the beginning. It was super hard because I was like, this teacher is crazy. What is he doing? And then he said like we needed to find pain in our body, a body pain. And at that moment, my wrist was hurting me so badly. But it wasn't injury, it wasn't a pain, but just that just appears. So I just focused in that pain, and the teacher said that we needed to start talking with our pain like it was a real person. So at the beginning, I was like, what? How can I do that? But then a few minutes, I just start asking my wrist, like what happened, or what do you feel hurt? Like he was a normal person. And I swear that my wrist just answered me and says that it wasn't a pain like related with something physical. It was related with my emotion, specifically with stress and sadness, because at that moment I was dealing with a hard situation in my life. And when the exercise ended, I swear that the pain was almost gone. It was super, super weird, but I think that there are experiences that most people need to live them to believe them, because I know it sounds super weird, like, all my presentations sound super mystical, but it's totally real. And also, I think that there are things that it's not possible to believe. If I say you need to believe, you need to live them. And if you want to know something more about logotherapy, there are a lot of videos and exercise on YouTube, so you can try and see how it goes, and you decide if you believe me or not. And that's it. Thank you.
Natalia, excellent. I really loved it, and I am interested. I am. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll be contacting you.
There are videos in exercise. You can. I do videos when I feel stressed, and it's very interesting.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nata. This is something that it's not out there. Like it's not something that people know about. So thank you. All right, so let's continue with Luisa. Luisa, I had given like a big introduction about you. So now you can start.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, do you want my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, today I'm going to talk about a book and a movie. Its name is Blindness. Blindness is a book or a movie about a pandemic. It's something similar that it happened in this moment with the coronavirus. I want to show you something like that because it's similar to a situation. This situation, I don't know if you know what is blind. Blind is like you can't see. In the book, it's about that. It's a pandemic where one person can see, and when she or he say look someone, the other person can't see. Okay, I want to show you a video.
Nothing. To be honest with you, I've never experienced anything like this before. I just wanted to get your take on a bizarre case I saw today.
What's the matter?
I can't see. Somehow that patient infected me.
That's impossible. Nobody goes blind like that.
Good morning, Minister. Some strange calls this morning.
I need security at 8. Ready?
I'm gonna have to ask you to come with us.
May I have those files, please?
My fellow citizens, like so many of you, I have gone blind.
We're in a state of crisis.
They're gonna be here any minute.
The decision to quarantine all those infected was not taken without careful consideration.
Step down, ma'am. You're not blind. This vehicle's for the infected.
No, you have to take me.
Fine, have it your way.
Hello? Can anyone hear us?
Is my mom here? You'll never believe where they brought us.
Is there any government or order?
Chaos.
Help me! Help me! Stop that! We're obviously all alone here.
Who do you think you are, giving all these orders?
I hereby appoint myself the King of War 3.
We are taking over now. If you want to eat, you're going to have to pay for it.
You know we don't have any money.
God is punishing us. This is what is happening.
I can see. I think it's up to you to decide what we should do next.
You can make a difference. You're afraid to close your eyes.
Afraid to open them.
If they won't give us food, I say let's get it ourselves.
Everybody, please, stick together. We haven't eaten in 3 days.
Oh, lady, I'll never forget you, boys.
I won't forget your face.
I see you. After all this
Oh my God.
Okay, this in this video you can look the situation about the book or a movie. I saw the movie and I read the book. The book, the writer, is Jose Saramago. He wrote the book in 1995. Okay, I'm going to talk about the book. What is the story? One person left the can see all. And when she already they or he saw another person, a doctor, when she visits a doctor, the doctor can't see too. The only person that can see is the wife's doctor. And the wife's doctor decides to care for other persons. When the situation is go out the control for the government and for the people, the government decided to isolate the person in a madhouse. It was so difficult because it's something similar to now, because when the situation got out of control, the people who was infected was increased a lot. And between it was so difficult because for food, for sleep, when the time was past, they don't have enough space for all and enough food, enough things. The wife's doctor care of them, but for she was so difficult. For she can see, and the rest of the people can see. The doctor decided to have sex with another blind, and the wife's doctor can see that and can see the other situations. I think the situation is very difficult for all. For the people that can see was so difficult because when you lose something that you need, for example, look, it's a sense. You need to show, you need to look, you need some. And I think for the wife's doctor is so difficult than the other person, because she was desperate, or she was worried because she can't do something that can help the people. I want to show you the principal characteristics of a pandemic. Isolation is the main characteristics. Depressions, change in routine, economic crisis, and uncertainty. It's the same thing that we have like in this moment. Change in routine, we can't go out, go to a party, go to a restaurant, go to the normal life. Economic crisis, because a lot of people that need to go out, or for example discotheques or restaurants, or can sales your products or can open your business. Or certainty, because you can know what happened in the future, you can know what happened in this moment. Change your routine, depression, because a lot of people feel bad when they can't go out, or or stay with friends, or stay in the streets a lot. A lot of people need relationship with people. And for example, in this moment, we can't for the pandemic. I want to speak about that because it's a similar situation that we can live in this moment. Thanks.
Excellent, Luisa. Guys, have you read this book or watched the movie?
Just like 10 minutes of the movie. Anything else?
Okay, I read the book and I also watched the movie and I recommend it. It makes you think. And well, I did it before even knowing that this type of scenario could happen in my lifetime, but it was really I don't know, eye-opening. And I think it's worth it. Like, please read it or watch the movie. They are both really, really, really good. Luisa, thank you for this topic. I am really proud of you.
Guys, the name of the book in Spanish is Ensayo sobre la ceguera.
Yes, but you read it in English. All right, guys. So the next student is Valentina. Valentina, you can go.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, wait. Hi. Okay. My final presentation is geology, a real science. So, first, I am a geology student at the Caldas University. For that reason, I choose this topic. Here we are going to see a short video about the Big Bang Theory series.
Geology isn't a real science!
Okay, according to the series, Sheldon, who is the protagonist, says that the geology is not a real science. The series is about two friends who are complete geeks and they have difficulty to interact with others. The series contains a lot of funny situations and they love to talk about physical theories. Sheldon's theories usually are to engineers, but in this case, he makes fun to geology. Honestly, I have not seen the series, but I can tell you about geology and give you my opinion. When we think about geology, we don't know what is it. So people have questions like, for example, is it really a science, or what exactly do geologists do, or is studying rocks necessary? Geology is one of the most misunderstood disciplines that exist today. Geology can be defined as a scientific discipline with multiple practical applications in daily life. For example, every landscape or the ground where we walk and live are studied by geology. Here we are going to see some places that I have visited during my major. Why do we say that geology is a science? Because there are a number of branches that are dedicated to understand basic aspects of our planet. For example, what is the planet made of, or what are the characteristics? For these reasons, we have clearly scientific geological disciplines like volcanology, seismology, oceanography, geochemistry, among others. It is incredible that so many things that surround us have a geological origin, because we must not forget that the plastic comes from oil or some medicines are condiments that we consume, for example, the salt, even personal hygiene materials like toothpaste. Besides, the geology is used for construction of buildings, creating objects of our daily life, from our cell phones or clothing or cutlery, all extract from the earth and made of minerals and rocks. Geology is a discipline that helps improve our daily life, the quality of life, and allows to development new technologies. Geological evidence. One of the evidence is the theory of continental drift. This theory was proposed 1912 by Alfred Wegener, and currently this theory is called plate tectonics. Evidence of this theory. First, I have a geographical evidence that where Wegener observed that the shape of continents on coast live together like a puzzle between South America and Africa. The second is the geological evidence that where Wegener discovered that some mountains have the same age and the same type of rocks on different continents. And the last evidence, and the most important evidence, is the paleontology that Wegener found fossils of the same species on continents that are separated by an ocean. Among organisms were found some animals that unable to cross the ocean. With this evidence, Wegener concluded that the continents were connected in the past, forming one continent called Pangea. And the last, why study geology? I want to mention three aspects. First, travels. These trips we can be a few days, weeks, or months. During these days, a lot of time is spent outdoors doing activities like make a map, collect data with a compass, take photos, distract profiles, and take rock samples. The other aspect is the knowledge that study geology is memorizing the geological history of the earth. In geology, the number of thousand minerals, rocks, and fossils are studied, and you will understand how rivers, mountains, or glaciers are formed. And the last, where can geologists work? There are 4 sectors in which a geologist can work: only industry, environmental, mining, research, and other possibilities is the geotechnics, that is the geology applied to construction. And finally, we are going to see a short video that supports my idea.
To start us off with, the word geology comes from the Greek for geo, meaning earth, and ology, meaning the study of. Geology involves studying the materials that make up the earth, the features, for example, and the structures that are found on earth, as well as the processes that shape them. Geology can also refer to the solid features of any celestial body. Celestial bodies being asteroids, planets, or comets. Geology also studies the history of all life that's ever lived or is still living on our Earth today. Studying how life on our planet has changed over time is an important part of geology. Geology can be incredibly varied, and people study all sorts of different things. For example, natural hazards like volcanoes and earthquakes. The inside of the Earth is made from a core, a mantle, and the overlying crust. There's also fossils, resources, including oil and gas exploration, and also looking for precious metals. And finally, for space exploration. For example, studying Mars or the Moon.
And that's it. No more.
Valentina, amazing, amazing. You are truly an example of perseverance, and I am really, really, really amazed with your presentation.
Thank you,
Excellent.
teacher.
Guys, I wanted to let you know that our academic director and our executive director, Clarita Lopez, are watching us. They send their love, their admiration, and greetings, and they're very, very, very proud of your process. Also, Valentina, Juan Miguel Castaño says hi. He's watching you, and he is very, very, very happy with what you're doing now. So you can say hi. All right, guys. Let's continue with Mr. Fluency. And he's one of the youngest of the class, but one of the greatest. So, Adrian, go.
Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so fear inside society. So I'm basically gonna talk about a movie. This movie is Batman, the trilogy. And I basically want to compare, like, oh my God, what is this? Okay. Compare like both societies, like real society and Gotham society. Gotham is the city of, the main city of Batman. So what if I tell you like discrimination, corruption, unsafety, and a lot of problems, a lot of criminals? Well, both societies are actually pretty similar to each other. Now, what is I'm going to explain about fear later. So look, so we have in our society, like the main difference is that we have mechanisms like God and laws. Why? Because they put like rules and values that you must follow. If you don't follow them, you're getting a punishment. So the main tool for it to being a thing, it's fear. You're afraid of going to jail and you're afraid of going to the hell. Now, the difference in Gotham City is that none of these things exist. So there's like just fear. You can only feel fear because you don't have like a real politician or politic or law that can hear your ideas or what you want. So you have to fight for them. Besides that, like that society is pretty fucked up. There's a lot of, like criminals and discrimination. So yeah, it's basically what I say here. It's a cycle of fear. And Batman comes from that society. Batman is made because of fear, because of discrimination. So what he tries to do is being the same thing as our society, laws and God. He makes a symbol like right up in the sky, and any person that wants to like do criminal acts, it's being watched by Batman. He's actually like trying to be God or the laws because there are not. So now, going to go deeper into like Batman's plot and trying to justify like most of the villains. So let's just say that you're being discriminated, you're like actually you're being torn apart from society and you're a psychopath and you don't have any like a way to fight against it, like right, you know what I mean, like doing good stuff. You can only fight and with violence. So Joker and a bunch of other villains, what they are trying to find, they're trying to search for justice. At Batman does the same thing, but the difference is that he doesn't kill people, but he gets them into Arkham's prison for the rest of their lives. It's basically the same. So that's why Batman is not a hero. It's just a symbol. And yeah, it's basically that. So this question, oh my God. How close are we from the abyss? The office is like the full degeneration of our society, how close we are. Well, we just need to abolish these, like those two things, and we are in the abyss. There's no like a system on which we can put our faith to believe and have hope. Of course, that doesn't mean that if you don't believe in laws or God, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily a criminal or a psychopath. But a lot of people would be actually like lost in life and would be doing the same things as Joker and villains like that. So yeah, that's basically my presentation. Thank you so much.
Very, very interesting, Adrian. There's a lot of symbolism and meaning in just an entertaining movie, right?
Yeah, that's what I like by Batman.
Yeah, and me being a Marvel person, I think it's a lot to say that it's good. All right, so yeah. Thank you so much, Adrian. You did an amazing job. So now let's continue with Alexa.
Okay. Hi. Good night. Give me 1 moment. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Alexandra, and I studied marketing. So today I'm going to talk about marketing. Nowadays, all of us know that marketing is what sells all around the world, and marketing is a whole world that allows us to have a perception about customer, brands, markets. And today I want to share with you some marketing that I think that it is novelty and useful for you. Okay. Let's start. First of all, I want to talk about e-commerce. How much technology do we use today? Everything around us is technology. And now everything is managed by electronic business. It means that most of things are being sold and bought by online markets and social media. I want that you look how works online traffic in real time. So let's check. Here you can see at this moment how traffic in the world is working. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, WhatsApp, Pinterest, all the social media that we have at this moment. Data launch, message sent, and it is happening right now. Okay, it is amazing to see how every second the traffic is increasing. And just for a minute that we had been connected, all the traffic is increasing, and we can see millions of views in YouTube, Netflix, millions of messages and emails sent, a thousand of posts in Instagram and Facebook, also thousand of likes, thousand of search in Google and LinkedIn. Just imagine that for every click that you did today, someone is earning money. It is crazy. For me, it is crazy. Okay, another point that I want to share with you is about branding and the insight that all of them achieve to maintain in our minds. So let's check Coke. Coke is the most popular soda in the world, and the insight that the brand managed is the most wonderful that I have ever seen. Coke, it's a brand that always sells happiness, and no matter your age, your nationality, your race, or your social position, happiness is for everyone, and anyone can buy it. I want to show you a video where you can see that Cook is reconfirming that Cook is it's for everyone. This video was made this year, and it is made as a consequence of the pandemic. So let's see the video.
For those who are apart, for those who are together, for our friends, for our families, for those we know well, for those we barely know, for classmates, for workmates, for relatives, for neighbors, for those who share, for those with little ones, for those with older ones, for those who can't work, for those who can't stop working, for those who cough into their elbows, for those who don't gather, for those who don't kiss, for those who have face masks, for those who don't have face masks, for those who came back, for those in quarantine, for those who wish they could come back, for the elderly, for those who help the elderly, for the firefighters, for the sanitation workers, for the volunteers, for the first responders, for the doctors and nurses, for those in fear, for the fearless, for those who join forces, for those who sing from balconies, for the strong, for the fragile, for those who recovered, for those who are no longer with us, for those who are struggling, for those who never give up, for those who believe, for what we love the most. We will get through this. For everyone.
It is Apple. I think that it is an amazing brand. It is the brand always makes you feel yourself recognized and important. Apple always sells status, life and a lifestyle. It sells security. The marketing of this brand is the best because you really believe that you need one of them, no matter if it is the old and old style of if it is the latest one. If you have it, it is the only thing that matter. Also, a person who have, for example, an iPhone, also want to be recognized. So, for example, when you hear this sound, let's hear. Sound, you know that the person have an iPhone, and the person who has the iPhone never is going to change the ringtone because the person wants to be recognized because they have it. So I think that it is amazing how the brand works in our minds, in our lives. Um, Okay, another point that I want to share with you is about promotions. I think that it is the most controversial topic in the marketing world, because who don't want to get something that really likes in a less price or greater quantity if for the same price. But sadly, I'm going to say you that it is fake because all prices are handled by companies to earn money in any situation. And in such a competitive world, who makes the difference in the market is who wins. Therefore, packaging that say that you can get higher percentage or more quantity for the same price, it is a lie because the package said the message, but you really are getting the same quantity for the same price, and in some cases you pay more for one thing and you are getting the same quantity of the product. In the same way, it happens in Black Friday. All people are crazy when Black Friday is coming because you can get all that you want in a less price. But the same happens with this day. All companies handle or manage the prices. They do an increase in the prices before to do the real discount that they are going to present to the world. So finally, in the promotion, you are going to pay the same for the product that it really costs without the discount. So all of these promotions are a lie. They are fake. And the last point that we want to share with you today is about merchandising. I think that it is wonderful how products are allocated in all the stores in order to be friendly with the customers. If you can see, all the things are allocated in a way that show you an story. For example, in the clothes store and in the supermarkets, it's allocated for sections. So it is amazing the work that the merchandising do. The point that I want to share with you is that companies, brands have to pay in the supermarkets to have the best space in the supermarket. It means that brands pay to have their products at eye level, where the person can see. In the eye level is the buy level. So brands always want to be in the eye level of the people, because there are the products that people buy more frequently. And in the case of the sweets, they always want to be next to the cash register, because there is the eye level of the children. When the father is paying the count, the children, the child is in this space next to the cash register, and it is the eye level of the children. So the child, it is going to ask for a candy. There are the most important things about marketing, and I really love it, and today I want to share it with you. I hope that you are enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Alexa, I really had no idea about half of the things that you said. It's so huge, like how marketing and merchandising works, right? Why did you choose this topic? Why do you like it so much?
I really like it because I studied, and also I worked in this work, and I know how it works. So it's interesting to show to people how it works, and I think that it is useful and novelty for you. So for the reason I want to share it with you.
Amazing, Alexa. Thank you so much. All right, so next we have Eliana. Eliana, as well as Luisa, started with me in elementary A. So very glad to see you here.
Thanks, teacher. Let me a moment. I search. You can see.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, I am Eliana Castrillon. Today I'm going to talk about legal medicine and crime scene. First, Decree 786 of April 16, 1990 regulates the practice of clinical and legal and medicine autopsy and viscerectomies. First, I will start explain what is autopsy. Autopsy is the study and examination of the organs, tissues, or bones of the body to find out or determine what were the cause of the death. This information is in general collected to legal purpose or scientific. The autopsy allows to know what were the circumstances before and after the person dead. It was a suicide, homicide, or an accident. When there is a crime seems, the police have the first contact with the body and with the evidence, and they have the guarantee integrity, identity, preservation, and security through the investigation process. Evidence. Evidence material is the most important in the investigation. This can be, see, for example, saliva, blood, hair, weapons, tag markers, fingerprints, and for example, with the blood, they can determine if the person was drunk, for example, or the IDA. With the, for example, when found skin on the knives of the person, they can determine that the person defended themselves before dying. And for this is very important that the information was a good collect and with a good security. The police have to take a photographs in the same screen, in the crime scenes, and they have a witness stamp and make sketches and diagrams and plans of the scenes. This is called in law chain of custody. And one advantage of legal medicines brings is that it allows the expert diagnose how long has a person been dead, thanks to a cadaveric phenomenon. The phenomenon cadaveric start with the livor mortis. Livor mortis is appeared and is accumulate of blood in the client places. For example, if the body is lying with this image, is lying on his back, the skin will pigment with pigment on the black, the color blood. If we change the position, maybe if is in the first 12 hours, the livor mortis can be disappear. But if among 12 or 24 hours, if the body is changed, the livor mortis can be disappear. And this help the investigators to know where the corpus was found is where he died or was moved. One example is a case of Colmenares. It's a famous case of livor mortis. Is that the case a young man who was found dead in a dig in a strange circumstance, which according to the prosecutor who was investigating was interpreted as suicide, as a steal, or even accident, when the fact it was a crime, because in the inform of medical legal say that he was hidden and beaten, to death, and that they also keep him for several hours somewhere, and after his death, they left him in in another place where the authorities found his body. To conclude, foreign medicine has a great relevance for criminal law, and therefore I want to study more about this topic, which has a very important role in the investigation of crimes, so that they resolve and a person is declared guilty or innocent. And final end on the presentation.
Yeah, no, so interesting. It is amazing how science helps us with many different cases. Yes. So yes, why did you choose this topic?
I choose this topic because I am a lawyer. I like that the person, for example, one person go to the jail, it was innocent, or that the prosecutor do good your things and your investigation.
All right. All right. Okay, so let's continue with George.
Okay, teacher. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good night for everyone. I am Jorge. This night I am going to talk a famous book that I read in the past. The book is The Language of God, a science presents evidence for belief. I remember that when I was in the university, I frequently had discussions about science and religion. You know that this topic is very polemic and interesting. But after I read this book, I changed my perspective and opinion about this topic. First, I want to tell a little about who is Francis Collins. Okay, Francis Collins is a famous American scientist who led the Human Genome Project and investigate the disease genes. This project to pretend to describe the sequence of genes of the humans. Basically, they are the instructions to create a human. In this book, Colin told you about his conversion because before he was an atheist and then he changed to Christian. For me, it's very relevant and interesting that Collins was capable of finding God in his investigation or in his projects. this mentioned it in his books. On the other hand, you know that the majority of the science don't believe in God, but irrelevant that Francis Collins tried to join the different points of view between science and religions to understand that we need both. Okay, in this moment, I want to explain better the relation between science and religion. Uh, First, we need to think that um, religion has answers that science doesn't have. For example, religion answer better to the purpose of the life, why are we here, for example, and others. But science put focus in other things. You consider the nature, the events in the universe, and others. Uh, in his investigations, Francis Collins discovered that the genes in the humans have a perfect sequence, and this is explain something for a participation of the big creator, a perfect design of God. So it's necessary to think that the science and religion are necessary, are complementary. We need to think and another mind because the focus of those are very different. We need to think that we need science to explain natural events and religion to questions about the life. Okay, now I want to talk about a little faith. Basically, it is the process how Francis Collins can be Christian. He became a Christian because he was in the hospitals looking for a terminal person, people who had illness very serious, and he found that people with faith had other perspective to live the life. Faith faith give them more strength and another things. But his home conversion happened in a travel in the Cascade Mountains in United States. He was with a friends. He looked a frozen, and in some moment this frozen was broke, and he compared this experience with his process to be Christian. He considered in his book that to believe is necessary a life of faith, that is belief without evidence, because to believe reason and arguments aren't enough. You need to give to live of faith, to believe without reasons. Okay, what is the most important argument that Francis Collins give to belief? Francis Collins, in his book, The Language of God, he talking about moral law. What is moral law? Moral law is something that all us, we have moral law in our minds. Is the correct sense to do the good things. For example, in someone is in a vacation in a beautiful beach, and in one moment he looked for a kid drawing in the sea. He want to try to save the kid. In this case, it's not relevant that the person, that someone know the kid. The more relevant is that his mind will tell him that he need to save the kid. Another example, if, for example, you are in the class in the Colombo and you are cheating in a quiz, and after the quiz you had a good score, but you feel that something is wrong. That is moral law. Is something that you have, that that you yeah that you have to do good things in every moment. Another case is a kid that lie for the first time. When a kid lie for the first time, maybe he hides for his parents. Why? Because he know that he's wrong. This is a evidence that the moral law, and it's possible that this moral law is placed in our minds, in our or in our body for a big creator. For the last, I want to conclude that we need science and religion in our lives. If you want to go to the doctor because you have a illness, you need science. But if you have problems with her light, with her purpose, maybe you have religion. What happened after the life? The religion explains better that that we need to consider both depending of the case. For the last, I finish with this sentence. Silence is the language of God, all else is for translations. Thank you.
George, what a powerful presentation. And a very, very powerful quote too. George, I wanted to ask you a question. How did you find this author?
Teacher, repeat, I don't listen.
Yes, how did you find him?
Okay, teacher. No, for me, the book is very interesting, but the problem it was that I read the book 5 years ago when I was in the university. But I read again a little and try to prepare the topic. I choose this because for me is very controversial. This book is in a library of the National University.
Amazing, amazing, George. Thank you so much. I have also seen your progress throughout Colombo, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so next, let's continue with Alejandro.
You can see?
Not yet.
Wait, it got crazy.
Not yet, Alejo.
Wait. Whenever it wants. Now you can see?
Yes.
So let's go. Good evening to everyone. So I'm going to start with my presentation. My presentation it's called Destroying the Stereotype. Music is easy and studying it's worthless. Why did I choose this topic? As you know, everything related to arts, and you talk to someone or your parents and you say, I want to study this, and it's related to arts, and the people say, no, you want to get money, no, why you're studying that, stuff like that. So I'm going to destroy the stereotype that studying it is worthless, and some people say that, for example, music, that it's my major, it's easy. So let's go. First of all, to talk, we have to know what is music. And because you ask two people and the people say what it's a song, but you ask what's music, they're like, what? It's like when you ask like, what is time? Let's start. As a technical name, music, it's everything which fills the requirements of melody, harmony, and rhythm. So melody, it's when you read the music from the left to the right, just with one note. That is what you listen and when like from a singer when you're listening to a song. And the harmony, it's all the notes that when you are singing, all the notes like play the piano, play the guitar, that in a group that sounds together and give you different sounds or different sensations. And the rhythm is the tempo. And the way you can say this song is fast or it's slow. And this is like the technical meaning. And something that it's more like philosophical from experience. Music, it's an art, of course. And also it is a language. Why? And because with music, you can give to the people emotions, different sensations, you can transmit different things, even you can tell stories with that. So it's a way to transmit different things. That is what is the purpose of a language. Maybe without words, but you can transmit emotions, feelings, and you can communicate. That is the principal purpose of a language. To continue, we are going to talk about rhythm. Rhythm is like, as I tell you, is which defines the speed of a song. But in something, if you are going to talk like theoretically in music, we are going to talk about meter. What is meter? Meter, it's like, you know, when a soldier is marching, right? They have like, they're marching together and no one is faster and no one is slower. That is music. When you are in a group, you have to play each one together. If you are going fast or you are going slower, everything got destroyed. It becomes a mess, and you stop to play music and you start to play noise. So, and if you are something to destroy that music is easy. If you are going to study music, you have to know something about maths. Why? If you look at the first picture that it's in the top and the right, and you know, like it's like a pyramid. It's like, to explain you easy, it's to make you thinking that you have a vessel, right? And the vessel is filled of rice, 2 kilos of rice, right? And you know that that's the first one. If you know that 1 kilo, it's made by the summation of 1 kilo plus other kilo. And you know that that each kilo, it's became by the summation of 2 livres. So, and if you go, you can get the idea about the pyramid, right? So the first figure, it's a 1, the second one is 2, the other one is 4, and the other one is 8. That it's like the subdivision you can think when you are playing. And to understand, and finally understand and understood that, we are going to the second images, and you know that in you know some numbers that is 2 seconds and 3/8, and those are like time signatures, which means that in music, and that the music you can hear all the sound, but in the music it's a paper, right? And where a musician can read, it's the easy way to transmit, to make other one to play what you want, right? But in the way to distribute that and look it organized, we have something that it's called measure. And the measure, and like each measure and has different values depend of a time signature. If you look at the bottom, and there's 2, 8, 4, 16, 4. Those are related to this. If you look at 2, it means that one hit, it's a value of this figure. If you look at 4, one hit is the value of this figure, right? Which means that each figure has different values, right? So it depending on the top, on the bottom, you have different values per measure, and the number on the top is how many figures of that you need per measure. So in this case, we have 2 of this, 3 of this. And so when you are playing, the way to not get lost is you have to think in the subdivision. Like if you have that the measure, it's a half, like the second one, and you have to look in the subdivision that is the second one, so a quarter. So when you are playing and the tempo is this, like you have to think in this in order to be like more accurate. Why? Because when you look at the measure, you have some tempos, right? That is this, but not always the figures are so simple as that. So when you are reading, you have to be very accurate where you have to play and how you have to play, because if you change the things, you change the way the composer and thought in the music when he was composing. And other thing I want to show, it's like something it's called like polyrhythm. It's like in terms of rhythm, the most known are the percussions, right? Because they are usually the people who like to be and who carry the tempo in a group, right? And in a smaller scale of like a batteries is this. And when you have to play a rhythm with one hand and other rhythm with other hand. And so I want you to look at this and let me know, what do you think? And that's something like in a smaller scale, what have to think when like someone to play the drums or a battery have to think. One hand with other rhythm and other hand with other rhythm. Like some dissociation have to have when you are playing. Even with some instruments like piano, when you have to play something with a hand and other thing with other. Other thing I want to know, it's like when you are a musician, you know, a musician usually play an instrument. Voice if you're a singer, and piano if you're a pianist, violinist, a violin, and the following stuff. But have you ever thought in what is the process to become when, for example, when you are starting in an instrument to become in the people you are watching, like this? What happened to this? Or from this to this? So I'm gonna talk you what happened. Have you ever asked what happened in the middle from started to dust to ended in the part? So I'm gonna talk about that. Something it's first of all it's discipline and dedication. Why? And the most accurate in terms of this practice and dedication are the sports. Why? And when you're looking at the sports and you know, even in this language, and when you start practicing, you need to practice, of course, to get, you have to dedicate time, you have to spend time practicing and stuff like that. But when you stop, like, and you got a level, and you stop practicing a week, 2 weeks, a month, when you start again and you go back to play, you can't play the same way you played before. You won't have the same sound. You lose technique. And that's something I'm gonna talk about. Each instrument has different techniques. When you're learning, you are develop the way to play like good with a good sound. Because if you play wrong an instrument, you can go some diseases, like you can get tendinitis or something, right? Problems with your hands, and you can maybe in like hard when you can get harmed when you are playing. And each instrument has different techniques, and when you're starting, you're just like worried and I want to play this with good sound and stuff like that. When you grow up and you have like a process, you go through years playing the instrument, like you need time to that, and you're going to discover some different techniques that let you like become your perform like more rich. You can give like the emotions that the composer and create and try to put in the piece when he was composing that, and like to give a more accurate like interpretation of that piece. Something about time, a curious fact, is in following some research, and you need over 10,000 hours practicing something to become a professional on that, right? In terms of musicians, you need between 10 and 10,000 hours to 25,000, because in each instrument has different things and you have to develop different abilities from, and because you're not just in having the theory, you have to practice, and it follows each statement like for experiment and other things. You have to be passionate for that. If you're going to study music or every career just for different reasons and a part of you like it, you are going to get frustrated. And for music, it's more important that, because music is a way to transmit emotions. You have to think in emotions, because when you have a piece, when you are hearing, maybe in the piece doesn't speak, it's not with voice, it's just instrumental. But with just the music, you can realize that the music is sad, is happy. It gives you like it's like a game. It's like give you different angry, frustration, passion, like war. Music and it's a way like to travel without movement, because when you are just sitting, you are just like listen to the music, you can imagine sceneries, you can imagine stories. The following statement, like to destroy the following statement that is studying music is worthless because you can't get a job, you can't get money. I'm gonna talk you like what are the different jobs if you study these majors you can work in. First of all, as you know, you can work as interpreter, like the person who makes concert, who plays the instrument, stuff like that. That is the most known. Other one is like a composer or arranger. And the composer, of course, is the people who like and put the music, who writes the music from his imagination, from his mind, into a paper to make other one to play it. Like, yes, I have the music, I think in a song, but I have just in my mind. If you want to other one to play that or to have an accurate idea of that, and just telling, it's impossible to that. you have to put it in a paper, you have to write it because the other person can't get the idea. An arranger, it's you have a composition and you want to make some changes or have an adaptation like this and this like this piece is played from our orchestra and you want that piece but played in a piano. That's something that an arrangers do. Other one, it's a conductor. As you know, when you look at an organization, and a band, an orchestra, is the person who are in front, who like manage everything. But something that the people think, yeah, no, it's just movement. No, a director is the people, and the directors and are the people who try to get the more accurate thing. Why? Maybe if you're a musician, you read the piece, you have an idea. I played it in this way. Other one, I played it in this way, I think is this way. What do the conductor? The conductor interpretate what is the emotions, what is the idea that the composer did in this piece, and try to organize things to tell you. And this part, it must play in this way because of this and this and this. You have to mix with this instrument and this instrument because this texture of that. You have to play it in this way because the character of this part is this, and try to give like a correct way to play a piece. Other things.
Alejandro, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yes.
I think that your presentation is stuck. Can you stop sharing and share again? Because we're not seeing the slides.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, stop sharing and okay, and share again.
Now you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Yeah. If the other one is a cultural manager, maybe it's not as known as the other one. It's like you have here, like in each government, is the person who promotes the arts, the music in each way, like to promote like local artists, like some presentations and stuff like that in different. Like the people, like it's like the people who contract and the people to play like an entertainment concert like in the Bolivar Square stuff. Mhm. Other one is a luthier. Luthier is a profession, and it's the people who mend instruments or who create it. Like, and I have a violin at the wood of my violin got a crack. I go to a luthier and the luthier mend it. Other one is a music producer or audio engineer. As you know, and I have talked about like classical music. But remember, the music, there's commercial music like pop, rock, salsa, like, and all the stuff of that music. And it's like made in a studio, like you have the singers, the instruments, even the electronic music. It's made like the producers and with programs like records all the things and organize it in different programs to become like and in a commercial way, like and the singers, the songs like you hear every day are made and by a producer. The singer is the person is the and the singers are the people who records all the voice, but the process and behind of them there's a lot of producers. Other thing, of course, you can be a teacher from children that wants to start in this world of music and to professional musicians giving master class with your and you can share your knowledge about a piece. You can make that to improve to become like in trying to get a higher level that they have now, or as a music therapist. The music therapist is a therapist that helps people like with some diseases to get along with their disease, with the stay in the hospitals. Also, and it works to help to people that have like diseases with the hearing or with the way to speak. And a curious fact, and this therapy helps to that people because some people can talk in a normal way, but some people can sing. It's something curious about that, and it helps a different people like to improve their hearing because and some people have the hearing here, but and they have some process and like in their brain, their ear has different problems in in the process of like and converting the information they're hearing into their brain. So they can hear, but they can process. So everything they can hear is like noise. For the reason that kind of people has problems with the speaking because they can hear. And to finish, to sum up, and we are going to talk about the salary because it's something like the people know if you study that you are going to get poor, stuff like you can't live on it and stuff like that. First of all, if you got a major degree, like just you study music and you just got the degree, and this is going to be the salary, like in an average. If you go deeper and you study a master's degree, and your salary and like in an average will be like 2.5 million. If you start like in the way of teaching in a university, like of course it depends if it's public, if it's private, and you're like of course you're like your CV, your experience, but in an average is this, like 3.5 million. If you are like a musician and you want to work in a professional organization like the Philharmonic Orchestra in Bogota, and the salary will be 8.5 million, and the assistants it's 6 million. An assistant of a concert master it's like the vice president and like the profession of vice president. Like when you, and the principal is the concert master, but if something happens like it's disease, if it like it's fire or stuff like that, the assistant replace. And that's all. And thanks for hearing. In this case, watching. Thanks for hearing myself, and I expect you enjoy.
Alejo, thank you so much. It was super, super interesting. I am also a big fan of music, and everything you explained was amazing. Thank you. All right, guys, so let's continue with Sebas.
Okay, teacher. Wait, I'm going to share the presentation. Okay. Good night. My name is Sebastian Gallon, and I'm going to present you a topic really interesting and is related with artificial intelligence entities and if those entities could have maybe rights and consciousness. Well, nowadays, we hear a lot about what is artificial intelligence, right? For this speech, we are going to denominate it AI. So, every day, scientists discover new things just due to the fact that we have to understand that it's an area in continuously progress. Let's start since the beginning. AI start with the automatic translations and the optical character recognition, and little by little, it has reached level unthinkable. Yes, levels unthinkable up to create a lot of different software, like automation of process with robots in the companies, also the biometry, the cybersecurity, the predictive marketing, and countless things. But it isn't all. In addition, the researchers have come to amaze us so much until reach the possibility of create humanoids, and that has the capacity to make their own decisions and learn by themselves with their own experiences.
But after talk about humanoids, that is going to be the main topic, I would like to make a parenthesis and talk about the Turing test that is really related with the artificial intelligence. And besides that, for me, it's something really awesome. Turing test is basically an examination of the ability of a machine to exhibit an intelligent behavior, similar to a human being. So the test consists in that you have a talk with different people, but one of them is a machine, and you have to guess which one is the machine. If you don't guess which one is, the machine passes the test. So that for me is just amazing because of the fact that it's a machine trying to cheat you and trying to talk like a human being. Obviously, it's just a keyboard conversation, but for me, it's really amazing. Now, yes, to our main topic. As a result of all of these advances in the AI, Sophia was created. So let's talk a little about Sophia, who is going to be the center of this presentation. Sophia is the humanoid that appears on the left-hand side of the presentation and is a social humanoid robot developed in Hong Kong. So it was made to learn and adapt to human behavior and work satisfactorily with them. Sophia was first turned on February 14th of 2016 and has been interviewed worldwide, as you can see in the presentation. Also, is inspired in the actress Audrey Hepburn. Its creator, Ben Goertzel, who is in the right hand side of the presentation, used different technologies with the purpose of Sophia could get as close as possible to the human thought. With this technology, Sophia can search information in something that they denominated a mind cloud and communicate it to other people. Besides that, Sophia can explain what is around it, and all of this is related with their facial expression. Their facial expression depends on what is she's going to say. Maybe she can smile or she can be angry or sad, and that is really interesting. Now that we know a little more about Sophia, let's start with the polemic part. And why I say the polemic part, because actually topics like rights and consciousness in robots cause many doubts and questions in people. And much more when humanoids that actually is a robot maybe more advanced has more than people should have. In October of 2017, Sophia said the speech that is in the presentation, "I'm very honored and proud of this unique distinction. It is historical to be the first robot in the world recognized as a citizen." Sophia said that because of the fact that was becoming a Saudi Arabian citizen, but this was really for marketing and maybe for promote the robot. But as a consequence, some questions were raised about robots and their rights. And all of this because Saudi Arabian women, for example, have to throw many things that Sophia doesn't. For example, they must be covered all the time with a veil, as you can see in the picture of the presentation. Besides that, they must be with their guardian. A guardian normally is a man of their family or their husband, and the guardian have to be with them all the time when they are going to get out or maybe make any decision. Furthermore, they are like removed from the work and study world, and that is something that Sophia can do freely. Well, we know that nationality is awarded to an entity like humans, right? And of course, humans are characterized by having unique characteristics like face, irises, and fingerprints. Also, a human can be recognized using human brain waves, and that is really interesting. But what gives to Sophia its identity? Maybe it's MAC address, a barcode maybe, or a unique mark on its skin. Maybe we can identify Sophia with those characteristics, yes, but Sophia's hardware. So what is this real identity? Maybe as a result, can we conclude that without an identity, a robot or a humanoid like Sophia couldn't have rights? Let's just think in rights in humanoids, because there are two types of rights, the social rights and the legal rights. Let's talk about legal rights. When Sophia is going to vote, really, who is the one who votes? Maybe it's its creator or Sophia's criterion. Besides, if Sophia acquires rights, will have to pay taxes, and who is going to be the responsible? Let's just think in something. The AI world is still debating the principles and the uses that AI should have, without thinking in how the rights should be. And with the social rights, for example, could Sophia be able to get married or have offspring? That is something really hard to think about. And if we take a look of a future, but a really unimaginable future, if the humanoids acquired rights, they couldn't claim the right of reproduce themselves with replicas, and those replicas will also be citizens, right? And as a citizens, with the right to vote, those could change society, and as a consequence, change laws too, causing to move us into a world that we will maybe never have imagined. And finally, let's talk a little the consciousness. According to Wikipedia, consciousness is defined in general terms as the knowledge that an entity has of himself and his environment. It can also refer to morality or the normal reception of a stimuli from inside and outside by an organism. If we stop and to think about this definition, we could maybe conclude that not only Sophia, if not all of the artificial intelligence entities, could have a consciousness. But I actually don't think so, because of the answer of an AI would be empty of meaning and intention, because what we will have in front of us is just an object programmed to simulate mental properties, right? But without the ability to have real conscious experiences. But also, there are some philosophers that defend that any functionally organized system in an inadequate way will be conscious without matter of the substance of which it's composed. So finally, we could conclude that maybe Sophia will be conscious, or at least in a rudimentary way. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Sebas. Amazing. I am very interested, like, in knowing about Sophia, and it just amazes me. It amazes me how we have gone from a simple computer to this. So amazing. Thank you so much, Sebas. All right, guys. So now let's listen to Carolina.
Okay, teacher. Wait. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Maria Carolina Lozada, and tonight I'm going to talk about fun facts about medicine. Why I chose this topic to talk about tonight is because I love this career. I passed to nursery to the university, but I want to pass also to medicine. I For me, this career is very interesting. The human anatomy is very beautiful and mysterious. We are a perfect machine because we have a million of organs and systems that are very connected each other. And if if we don't have some organ or system, all our body can collapse or be destroyed. And systems depends each other. So tonight I'm going to talk about the human anatomy and some curiosities, some fun facts. The first, all the organs of the body obtain oxygen through the blood except the cornea. Except the cornea because it obtains the oxygen through the air. This is because the capillaries and the tear that are the fountains of the of that are the fountains of the nutritional debility of the cornea contribute small quantities of oxygen to the cornea. The atmosphere gives it a 21% of oxygenation to the cornea with the eyes open, and with the close with the and when the close are and when the eyes are closed, the receives a 7 and from 7 to 8% with to the oxygen. The 90% of the oxygen necessary for the cornea comes from the aqueous humor. That is another fountain of the nutrition of the cornea. Okay, the second fun fact that for me was very interesting was that our brain can save 2.5 gigabytes of memories. It is equivalent of 300 years of video, because our brain is so powerful that if we can take all our memories in a video, that video can last 300 years, because the brain contains 3 million of channels of television also. Another fun fact that was very interesting is that the hair is so strong that it can raise until 12 tons without break, because it happens because the cuticle cells are interconnected with a complex chemical substance that acts as a cement and keep them also interconnected to the cortex of the brain. The fourth fun fact is that the acids in the stomach can dissolve metals, because the acid that the stomach contains is very corrosive, and if the acid can touch the other organs of the system, can dissolve also that organs, and if that acid can touch our skin, we can burn. The another fun fact is that the idea that the tongue has sons of flavor is very false. We all in the class of biology in the school, the teachers told us that the tongue has some sons or flavor, but this is false, because the tongue contains contains a little receptors that can detect all the flavors. You can try this. For example, if you eat something sweet you can feel this flavor in all the tongue, not only in the zone of the in the zone of the front. The sixth fun fact is when you are awake, your brain produces enough electricity to turn on a bulb because the work the neurons are combined so that each of them contribute with two memories at the same time, increasing exponentially the storage cap. Sorry, it happens because the neurons are very interconnected, and it allows to. For this reason, the brain can generate enough electricity because we can activate different areas of the brain doing different activities. 7. The people that smoke one package of cigarettes on one day run the risk of suffer a heart attack than the persons that don't smoke. In special, and the persons that smoke suffer another disease like the chronic obstructive disease of the lung, and the person can suffer a heart attack because smoking accelerates the cardiac frequency, contract the principal arteries, and it can cause alterations in the rhythm of the heartbeats. All of this make that the heart makes a big effort, and for this reason is that the heartbeats accelerate the rhythm, and also the smoking increases the risk of suffer an accident with the system cardiovascular. The human eye can difference until 10 million of colors, but our brain can't remember of all of them because our eye contains 5 million of cones. That are installed in the retina, and for this reason we can see too many colors. The other fun fact is that the laugh is the best therapy against the stress. It is explained by the dilatation of the vessel walls that causes the relaxation of its walls when you laugh. So this contributes to improve your cardiovascular health because the cardiovascular system, when we laugh, the internal layer of the blood vessels relax, improving the circulation of the blood, and reducing the arterial pressure. And the last fun fact is that the immune system has a group of cells that fight against the diseases and virus. Sorry. This is a gift of how acts the white blood against a parasite. This and we can see it, and in this case, and in the case of the pandemic of coronavirus, it's a similar way that acts our immune systems when we are contagious or when we contract that virus. And it's the and when for survive to any disease like the coronavirus, we can it depends on the immune system, because all our bodies are very different, and our bodies have a different answers of any virus. For this reason is that in this pandemic there are people that have survived to that virus, and there are people that have died because the immune system was very was doesn't answered good, and leaves that that virus attacks the body. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caro. Amazing. Excellent. You know how much I love medicine. And I'm sure you're going to get into med school. That's for sure. All right, guys. So finally, last but not least, we have the most positive, happy, and optimistic person I have ever met, which is Luismi.
Thanks for that, teacher. So I'm going to share my screen now. And do you see my screen now or not?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So, in order to start my presentation, I have to say that as Alejo, I'm a music lover, and yeah, the main purpose of my presentation is that share with you the unknown world of trance music, as you can see here. So I know I've been talking about trance music the entire course, but what is that? So this is the moment to explain. Okay, let's begin. So I'm going to talk about trance family, because yeah, it exists as a family in trance music. So I'm going to talk about trance family and its closest relationship with the festival season. But I have to talk about first about trance music, right? So trance music basically is a subgenre of electronic dance music, or EDM, and it incorporates a lot of real instrument sounds, like cellos, pianos, synths, and all the strings you can imagine. Also percussive elements as snares, toms, yeah, kick drum. The kick drum is like the holy grail in trance music and the entire EDM. And the kick drum is that sound that you can hear is so characteristic, is the boom, 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 that, you know, that beat that makes you move or guide your way through the music. So yeah, trance music itself has many subgenres, and I'm going to explain a little bit the most important ones. So let's talk about first of progressive trance. So progressive trance is characterized by having progressive sounds, right? And also slow tempo is so quiet, yeah. But it has melodies, and those melodies are just amazing. So this is a short video about progressive trance, and this is how it sounds like. As you can hear, we got so melodic elements. I hope you're hearing. And we have uplifting trance, which is my favorite. And uplifting trance has beautiful melodies as progressive trance, but it's too different. It's faster. The average tempo of uplifting trance is 138 BPM more or less, but yeah, it's not a rule, right? And what I love from uplifting trance is the melodies, because it rises from a beautiful breakdown in all cases, I think. And yeah, so emotional, so euphoric. And I'm going to share this short video that I recorded when I was there. I lived that moment. That was Ultra Music Festival 2018. And then we're going to see the official broadcast. So we have tech trance. Tech trance is another subgenre. And I have to say, tech trance is made for crazy people, and I love it. Why? Because tech trance incorporates powerful kick and bass drops that is simple, makes you bounce your head and dance, which is amazing for festivals and events. And yeah, let's see.
You're sitting there, I am standing here. We are experiencing a three-dimensional
So now you can see the difference, right? And finally, we have the psytrance or psychedelic trance. If you think that tech trance is crazy, this one is the craziest. And why? It's simple, because it has ethnic sounds and weird effects. When I say ethnic sounds, it's like it incorporates, for example, Indian lyrics or Native American voices or African vibes. So let's listen a little bit. Video. yeah, let's move on to trans family. But before that, I have to say that, yeah, people say that electronic music is all the same. Now, do you think the same? I think no. So trans family basically is a culture born from trans, and a lot of people around the world are taking part of it. And trans family has many sub trans families, yeah, per country. Almost all relevant countries have trans family. We get trans family UK, trans family USA, trans family Colombia, the Irish trans family. And okay, so the main purpose of trans family is share that feeling of music, share music, yeah, trans music, and keep you informed about the festival season per year. So there's a typical schedule per year that trans family follows to keep you informed about festival season. And why not? One can attend to any of those festivals and join them. So this journey of festival season begins in February with A State of Trance by Mr. Armin van Buuren and takes place in Jaarbeurs, Utrecht in the Netherlands. So it's the most important trance event in the world. So it's the first one and the last one, actually. And then on March, we have A State of Trance, but the Ultra Music Festival edition of A State of Trance in Miami. It takes place in Bayfront Park in Miami. And this is a general view. And this is again the video that I showed you before. So I'm not going to play again. So you're ready. So then in June, Luminosity Beach Festival in the Netherlands takes place. It's just relevant because a lot of names in the trance scene attend to this festival. Look at this flyer here. We have a lot, almost 100 of DJs performing in this festival. So it's just amazing. Then in July and August, Tomorrowland is the main reference. So Tomorrowland, as you know, or if you don't know, now you know it, is in Belgium. And the most important trance events inside Tomorrowland are number one, A State of Trance by Armin van Buuren. Again, this is the logo. And Future Sound of Egypt by Ali and Fila. This guy here is Fadi from Ali and Fila. And this is the stage where he performed. Yeah, this man is so important for trance scene because the next event, which I'm going to show you now, is so important because in September, Future Sound of Egypt or FSOE takes place. The most important Future Sound of Egypt event takes place in this location. That's insane. It's just insane. The Giza Pyramid Complex in Cairo, Egypt. So in the foreground, let's imagine that you're in the festival, at the festival. And in the foreground, you have the DJ performing, and in the background, you have the pyramid. So it's just unrealistic, right? Then in October, we have Transmission Prague in Czech Republic, which is my personal favorite because of these beautiful laser beams. And it's like you feel like in another dimension or something like that. And Dream State Mexico too is too important. Dream State by Insomniac, the label dedicated to trance music. And finally, in November, we have Dream State SoCal or Southern California by Insomniac too, and takes place in San Francisco. And in San Francisco, there are a lot of people, and they call trans family San Francisco. They are one of the most important subcategories of trans family in the entire world. So that's all. I know I have to run, but okay, I hope you like it. And yeah, let me listen to you. What do you have to say about that? And if we have time, that short video of transmission track, which is my favorite one, I'm going to show you why. Those lasers being that are not. Right? I think that's all. And more than music is like a lifestyle, I guess. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Luismi. I think this was a flawless presentation. Congratulations. Amazing, amazing. And
Okay.
kind of mean because we all wished we wish we were there. But yeah, guys, so this is the end of our presentations. First of all, I want to highlight your amazing job, not only today, but every single day